I don't know what the 70s disease was, but sometimes it feels like designers are just making cars for a bet. And no, it's not a joke. These are real cars that were sold quietly in showrooms. And let's start with a car that looks like it was inflated and then forgotten to stop. Seriously. It's a 1975 AMC Pacer. Cars that look like this have had a supercharger installed and forgotten to turn it off. No, seriously, look at it. Round, wide, with tabletop windows, like an aquarium on wheels. And the funniest thing, in the 70s, they called it modern construction. The engineers wanted to make a compact and fuel-efficient city car. But something went wrong. In the end, the car turned out short, but very wide. Just wide, which looked odd even at that time. The windows are a special joke. They're simply enormous. It's bright inside, yes, but it feels like you're being watched from all sides. There's no privacy. You and your mistakes behind the wheel are publicly visible. At first, they planned to put a compact engine under the hood, but plans changed and they ended up using a heavy 6-cylinder engine. Balance? Forget it. Fuel economy? Also a mess. The car turned out heavy, thirsty, and not particularly stiff. But AMC seriously marketed it as the car of the future, a future that fortunately never arrived. And yet, the Pacer's still memorable. It's impossible to confuse it with any other car. It became a symbol of the strange decisions of the 70s. When the idea sounded good, the result looked, well, you can see for yourself. Okay, so the AMC Pacer is all clear. A strange shape, high expectations, and a result that wasn't remembered as planned. But things get even more interesting, because the next car isn't just a design mistake. It was a genuinely ambitious plan, a big idea, big promises. A car that was supposed to be safe, cool, and unique, and it turned out that people still remember it with the question, how did they even let this happen? The Bricklin SV1 is a case where the idea was so bold that reality simply couldn't hold up. The name SV1 stands for Safety Vehicle 1, meaning we're told right away, this is a safe car, the first, special. This alone makes you tense up. It looked impressive, low, wide, with gull ring doors, yes, like a supercar. Except it wasn't a supercar, but an attempt to make a safe sports car for ordinary people. The body was made of plastic, no paint. The color was right there in the material. It sounds cool, but in practice, the panels faded, cracked, and looked tired after just a couple of years. Now the main joke, the doors. They were electric, not hydraulic, not mechanical, electric motors. And guess what? They broke constantly. Imagine, you approach the car, press the button, and the door just won't open, or it opens only halfway, or it opens but it won't close. Under the hood was a V8. It sounded impressive, but the car was heavy, poorly assembled, and not particularly fast. It offered no sportiness, no comfort, and no reliability. The company was spending huge amounts of money, quality suffered, the cars were underperforming, and its reputation was in tatters. Ultimately, the Bricklin SV1 lasted only a couple of years, the project was shut down, and the car went down in history as an example of how big ideas alone aren't enough. The Bricklin SV1 isn't just a weird car, it's a monument to the saying, it sounded better than it turned out. Okay, so everything's clear with the Bricklin. Big promises, beautiful words, and a reality that quickly caught up. But the next car is a completely different story. There were no promises to fix anything or make it safer. They simply decided, let's make it as expensive and as outlandish as possible. This is a car that looks like it was created not by engineers, but by someone with a very rich imagination and an even richer wallet. There's more chrome than common sense, so much luxury that it begins to look less like style and more like a parody. This car wasn't trying to be modest, it wanted to be looked at. For a long time, with questions, sometimes with disbelief. The Stutz Blackhawk is a case of someone looking at the word luxury and deciding, let's go with the flow. This car looks like it was designed with one goal in mind, to turn heads. Not because it's beautiful, but because it's too much. Too much chrome, too long a hood, too much everything. It was an ultra-luxury car for people who wanted to be noticed from afar, very far away. It was based on American engineering, a big V8, a classic platform, but they topped it off with an image of wealth without taste. Gold accents, a spare tire sticking out from the rear as if the car was getting ready for a safari, not a city cruise. The interior is a different story. Leather, wood, carpets, buttons, details. It feels like you're not in a car, but in an expensive hotel that somehow knows how to drive. Everything is handcrafted, slow, expensive, and not always neat. It's not about technology, not about handling, and definitely not about practicality. The funniest thing is, the Stutz Blackhawk cost as much as a supercar, a truly enormous amount of money, and yet it felt like a heavy, clumsy ship. Fast? Not really. Comfortable? Doubtful. But impressive? No question. This car was loved by celebrities, musicians, and actors, not because it was good, but because it was loud. It screamed status even when it was silent. And that's why today the Stutz Blackhawk looks not like a symbol of luxury, but like a monument to an era when money tried to replace taste. The Stutz Blackhawk isn't just a strange car, it's proof that sometimes luxury can look even more absurd than poverty. Okay, with the Stutz Blackhawk, we saw what cars looked like when you have a lot of money and absolutely no imagination. But now comes a sharp turn in the other direction. This next car wasn't created because someone wanted luxury or showiness. It was created because there was no choice. None. The bare minimum, the simplest solutions, and a look that wasn't trying to be pleasing. This is a car that wasn't made for design or pleasure, but simply to exist. The Trabant 601 is a car that makes it clear right away there's no comfort, no technology, no imagination here. This is a car created not because it was meant to be, but because it happened that way. It looks simple, even too simple, small, angular, without a hint of style. But that's the whole point. They weren't trying to make it beautiful, they were trying to make it exist. The Trabant's body was plastic, not because it was cool or innovative, but because there wasn't enough metal. The engine was a two-stroke, weak and noisy. The car didn't move, it just patiently got there. Acceleration was tentative, the sound was like a moped, and comfort was a matter of luck. Inside, everything is as basic as possible. Minimal instruments, minimal amenities, minimal everything. This isn't a car you want to drive, this is a car you have to drive. And the most interesting thing is that people queued for years to buy it. Not because they loved it, but because there simply wasn't another option. And herein lies the paradox of the Trabant 601. It became iconic not because of its design or engineering, but because of its circumstances. It became a symbol of an era when a car wasn't a dream, but a rare, hard-won item. Today, the Trabant 601 looks like a joke on wheels. Small, noisy, strange. But behind this strangeness lies a whole story about a time when a car was a luxury in itself, even if it was just that. The Trabant 601 isn't just a strange car, it's a reminder that sometimes technology doesn't reflect ideas, but the reality in which it was born. Well, no more comment here. Let's move on to the next car. The Volkswagen Type 181, aka Thing, is a car that looks like it was never intended for civilian use, and that's no accident. It's essentially a military vehicle that was simply told, let's sell it to the public. Boxy, angular, with no proper doors, no coziness, and no hint of comfort. Pure utility. It looks like a Lego set assembled without instructions. Flat panels, a vertical windshield, and the feeling that the body could be disassembled with a screwdriver in an evening. And the funniest thing is, that's exactly how it was designed. A bare minimum, designed to be cheap, simple, and easy to repair. Under the hood is the familiar Volkswagen Beetle engine. Reliable, yes, but weak. The car didn't move, it just crawled stubbornly forward. Noisy, slow, and without any sense of safety. Scary on the highway, strange in the city, tolerable off-road. Volkswagen tried to sell the Type 181 as a fun, versatile car for active people. Beach, adventure, freedom, they said. In reality, it was a compromise on wheels, appealing either to enthusiasts or to those who didn't care what they drove. And that's the whole thing. It didn't try to be pretty, it didn't try to be comfortable, and it certainly didn't try to be clever. It simply existed. Today, the Volkswagen Type 181 looks like a reminder of a time when the line between military equipment and civilian vehicles was very vague, strange, rough, and completely honest in its simplicity. So that's the list we ended up with. Strange, ridiculous, and sometimes just plain weird cars that actually existed and were once considered the norm. Thank you for watching this video to the end. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the format, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be waiting for you in the next episode. There will be even more weird stuff.